Now, we need to understand that Trump, the Patriots, they knew that the deep state, they were going to push this event, and they used it to their benefit. And I know a lot of businesses, a lot of people, they're struggling right now. We knew there were going to be bumps in the road. But you need to put all of this in perspective. Trump needed to move this entire system and turn it and remove the power from the central bank. Get rid of laws, regulations that were holding back the entire country from moving forward. Without doing this, he wouldn't be able to do anything afterwards. Now, think about this for a second. If Trump was not president right now, if we had someone else in office, it wouldn't be a small bump in the road. Everyone that's complaining now that businesses are hurting, not working right now, if he wasn't in the position that he was in right now and we had someone else, think about 2008, 2009, multiply that by 1,000. The central bank, the deep state players, they would have allowed the credit system to freeze up. They would have allowed the entire system to collapse. The markets wouldn't have come down 10,000 points. First of all, they wouldn't have gone up 10,000 points so they can come back down 10,000 points. The market would have dropped to almost nothing. Think about 2008, 2009. It would have been a complete and utter disaster. If this is hard, the other way would have been unbelievable. You wouldn't even recognize the country. The positive to all this is that when all of this is over, when everything is said and done, guess what? Trump has now removed regulations. He has removed the blocks. He's sending checks out to the people. He's helping businesses, small businesses, get back on their feet. And we need to think exactly what Trump has been doing during this whole entire time. One, we know he has nationalized the Federal Reserve. He has moved it into the Treasury. He has taken full control of that area where now he can push stimulus and lower rates without checking with anyone or trying to push someone to do it. He knows that he needs to do this because he needs to bring the system back online. But during this whole event, if you really look at what he was doing, he was preparing the economy. He was removing the regulations. Why do you think he was pushing companies to open plants? Why do you think he was saying, listen, we're going to produce ventilators. Hey, we're going to make masks. We're going to do all this stuff. But guess what? We have things in the way that is not allowing me to do this. What did he do? He rolled back all those regulations. He reshaped the entire thing, brought these companies online. He removed the regulatory red tape that was hampering innovation in our domestic economy. Think about where the masks, where the drugs, and everything else that was made. Where was that? That was China. We had the supply chains in China. He's ordered all of it to come back here to the U.S. And to allow these companies to create this, he had to remove the regulations. Plus, think about the rest of the world. The rest of the world is looking at the supply chains. He's even making an offer to say, listen, we will pay for the U.S. companies to move out of China. Japan is moving their manufacturers out of China. Other countries are going to start to do this. This was done on purpose. What we're watching right now is Trump, during this event, he is using the National Defense Production Act. He's using the national emergency. And we also understand that all 50 states now have declared an emergency. He now has full control. And remember, just because the event is gone, just because everyone goes back to work, doesn't mean the economy just all of a sudden is all better. No, he's going to make the case that he needs to do more to bring the system back online, to make it once again powerful, to rebuild what we had. Actually, it's going to be a lot better than we've ever seen before. And he's doing all of this because he's basically making the foundation of this economy. He understands that we need to have a strong foundation. Without this foundation, with the regulations removed, the laws removed, having trade, taking control of the central bank, we can't move forward. Now, he controls it all. Now, we have the ability to move forward. And I know a lot of people, and I know out of the mainstream media, and a lot of financial pundits are out there saying that there's no way that this economy can recover. Well, the central bank system, that's going to be pushed aside. Not just yet, but it will be pushed aside. He's going to use the central bank, the stimulus, the interest rates, and the control over the Fed to bring the economy where he needs to bring it. Just like they did in 2008, 2009, 10, 11. The difference is, back then, people didn't receive the checks. Businesses didn't receive the checks. Nobody received anything to get them through that tough period of time. Everything went to the good old boy club, and we weren't in it. This time, he's helping Main Street. He's helping the everyday person. And once we come out of this event and we start to move into the economy where everything comes back online, we're going to see everything begin to change. Now, do I mean as soon as this happens, everything changes? No. It will be a slow, gradual improvement as we move forward. And it will get better and better and better because he'll be able to do a lot more. Now, very interestingly, we know that Trump wanted OPEC plus others to come to an agreement about the oil problem. This is what he tweeted out. The big oil deal with OPEC plus is done. This will save hundreds of thousands of energy jobs in the United States. I would like to thank and congratulate President Putin of Russia and King Salman of Saudi Arabia. I just spoke to them from the Oval Office. Great deal for all, he continued. Having been involved in the negotiations, to put it mildly, the number that OPEC Plus is looking to cut is 20 million barrels a day, not the 10 million that is generally being reported. If anything near this happens, and the world gets back to business from the COVID-19 disaster, the energy industry will be strong again, far faster than currently anticipated. Thank you for all those who work with me on getting this very big business back on track, in particular, Russia and Saudi Arabia. So what has he done? Well, the U.S. and Canada, well, they're not part of OPEC Plus, but Trump has been leading the negotiations between Saudi Arabia and Russia to broker the deal. There was a loggerhead within the negotiations as Mexico didn't want to cut their production by the requested amount of about 400,000 barrels per day. Remember, Mexico, also Russia, they rely on oil as a large part of their economy. And AMLO stated that his economy could not withstand such a significant drop in state revenue. Economic security, after all, is national security. So Trump, he brokered a deal with OPEC Plus, and he agreed to decrease U.S. production by 300,000 barrels, allowing Mexico to drop a more manageable 100,000 barrels. Trump and AMLO reached an undisclosed agreement where Mexico will reimburse the U.S. later on. Now, I suspect that this reimbursement might have something to do with the wall. Wouldn't that be incredible? Where Mexico repays by paying for part of the wall. That entire plan of having Mexico pay for the wall would come to a close. And Trump would say, see, they paid for part of the wall. Now, the millions of barrels per day cut will begin on May 1st and will extend through the end of June. And we can see that Trump, he has now taken care of the energy market. And he's preparing to open up the economy. The White House has named a new council to lead efforts to reopen the U.S. economy. We have Mark Meadows, Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, Robert Lighthizer, and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. All these individuals are going to work together to get the entire economy open. And Trump, because he's pretty much finished creating this strong foundation, he's going to build upon that. He thinks he's ready to move forward, where the economy is going to open up. This event is going to come to an end. And I do believe he is ready to do this. Watch what happens next to the economy. And we need to remember that just because it comes online doesn't mean it's going to take off. It might go through some more bumps. But eventually, as time goes on, we'll see it getting better and better and better as he makes new announcements of what he's doing. And I believe soon he'll be calling out the central bank systems. He'll be calling out saying we need to go back to sound money. He'll start the narrative, start directing us in that direction. And I do believe this is what's coming next.